You want to lose belly fat? 30 minutes on the elliptical machine. That'll work all the time. Wrong. Here's what you're going to do. 4-minute belly fat destroyer, body weight workout, no equipment. Let's do this. Hey, Craig Ballantyne here from HomeWorkoutRevolution.com, the home of the 4-minute fat burning miracles. And we're going to give you another one here today for free. Follow along. Let's challenge ourselves. This one is called the 4-minute belly fat destroyer. We're going to start it off with our Punisher squats. In 2, 1, here we go. So Punisher squats is 20 seconds of squatting, bodyweight squats, hands out in front, with a 10-second hold at the end. Then we're going to go immediately into jumping jacks or total body extensions, whichever one you want. So we go down and we hold for 10. Bottom position, stay strong. This is a Punisher, part of the squat. 4, 3, 2, 1, good. Now, a beginner intermediate version, we go to jumping jacks. You want to do advanced, you're going to go into our total body extensions. This is a 30-second exercise. Just keep on going straight. Hardcore people, you can do burpees. That will also destroy belly fat super fast, but we want to keep moving. And right after this, we're going to go back into our Punisher squats. 20 seconds with a 10-second hold. Chest up, head up, fatiguing those quads, working the large muscle groups. We're going to go into an upper body exercise next. We're going to do our 10-second hold now, and then we're going to go into 30 seconds of push-ups. Whatever push-up you can do for 30 seconds. The hardest one. In 2, 1, good. So, regular push-up, 30 seconds. More advanced, you'll go Spider-Man. You can go close grip. And you can go kneeling if you have to. But whatever you can, crank out those push-ups for 30 seconds. This will get us halfway through the workout. You know what it's time for? More punishment. 20 seconds of squats. You got to do the transition between exercises fast. Heart rate up, breathing is up. Starting to sweat a bit. A couple more seconds and we hold. Down and hold. After this we go to a crossbody mountain climber. So we are going from upper to lower so that my quads rest while my abs, shoulders, and triceps do the work. But it's still a movement that's going to get your heart rate up in a tough body position. We're halfway there. Keep it going. Abs braced, hips low. Almost there. One more. Good. Punisher, that's what it calls for. Last minute. Here we go. Get those squats in. 10 seconds and we hold. That's it. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Good. And you know what this calls for at the end here? We've done so many Punisher squats. Punisher X. That's where we go into the total body extension into the 10 seconds of Punisher. Quads are on fire. You've done a lot. Keep it going. 20 seconds left in this workout. Push, 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 push. That's it. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Stay strong. Hold it out. Punisher squat here. Let's go. Punisher X with the TBX. 2, 1. Done. Great workout. Belly fat destroyer. Add that on to the end of any workout you do, or use that on its own
as an off-day belly fat punisher and destroyer. I'm Craig Ballantyne from TurboNstraining.com. Hit us up for more workouts, like it below, click on the link to get access to more information.
The pull-up is one of the greatest muscle-building exercises in existence and should be permanently included in any legit strength training plan. To improve your pull-ups, we will show you 3 easy tips to get the most out of this movement. The most strength for your pull-ups comes from your back and not your arms. This is why you should activate your back muscles first before you bend your arms and pull yourself up. Therefore, you need to know the difference between the passive and the active hang. In the passive hang, you just hang from a ball with straight arms and nearly no activation of your back muscles. In the active hang, you pull your shoulder blades down and together, which is called depression and retraction. In both positions, you don't bend your elbows at all. The passive hang is mostly about grip strength and can also be used to stretch your lats and pecs, which will result in a better opening of your shoulder. The purpose of the active hang is to activate your lats, traps and rhomboids. So when you do a pull-up, the first thing you should aim for is the active hang position. You only use your shoulder blades without bending your arms to get the movement started. This is essential to engage a lot more muscles in your back and keep your shoulder girdle strong and healthy. You can do your pull-ups with the release of the active hang and the switch to the passive hang for each rep, which is very good to learn the right technique. But you can also hold the active hang during the complete motion. No matter which variation you choose, always fully extend your arms when you are in the bottom position. The next tip is also about the optimal back engagement. When you do a pull-up, try to imagine that the resistance is right under your elbow. Driving your elbows down to your body as much as you can will activate your back muscles in an optimal way. When you do this, your arms will bend automatically, and of course you will work your biceps, brachialis and brachioradialis during the movement. But to maximize the outcome in terms of back activation, you should visualize this elbow movement. To get the right imagination, you can practice it with a resistance band. Fix the band right under your elbow and pull it down without grabbing it with your hands. By doing so, you only pull the band down with your elbows, and this will lead to the right neuromuscular input. The last tip is about the muscle tension. There are different ways to do a pull-up. You can do them explosive or slow and more controlled. If you want to increase your explosive strength, it's okay to quickly move up and down, but you should never smash into your joints when you hit the bottom. Most people want to do as many pull-ups as possible to set a new personal record. But when it comes to build a solid strength and muscle mass, the time under tension is very important. If you pull yourself up explosively and let yourself fall down quickly, your muscles will be under less tension than if you do your pull-ups slower. Here is a quick example. Let's compare 2 people with the same height and weight and the same experience in training. Person 1 is able to do 15 pull-ups in 15 seconds by pulling up explosively and falling down quickly with nearly no tension. Person 2 is able to do 10 pull-ups in 30 seconds by also pulling up quickly, but going down much slower and more controlled. Now person 1 does more pull-ups, but he has only half the time under tension of person 2. So person 2 is able to hold his muscles under tension for a longer period of time, because he is stronger than person 1, even though he does less reps. If you wondered why it takes so long to improve your pull-ups, Check if you considered these tips, and if not, implement them into your workouts. We wish you an even more successful training with those tips, and we'll answer your questions in the comments. Thanks, Alex.
What's up, guys? Jeff Cavaliere, AthleanX.com. We are talking all about posture today. And if there was a representation of poor posture, it was this young man right here, Jesse. And I know that we've been infatuated with the muscle gains he's been making, but I can tell you this, those muscle gains actually would be impossible had he not first fixed his posture. And for anybody that has followed this channel for any length of time, you realize that as a physical therapist, I have to prioritize posture, especially when we start attacking a strength training program, because I don't think that you can physically put yourself in position to be as strong as possible if you don't first fix your posture. So we had to do that with Jesse. What did we do? Well, turn around and show him what you look like, because you kind of looked exactly like I just did. And you kind of came to me looking like this. And if you don't believe me, you can look at Jesse's picture over here for verification that, yes, that's actually how he looked when he started training. But knowing that we can't throw him under the bar that way, because we're asking for problems, we had to address one by one, starting right here. The upper back, the thoracic spine, being rounded, kyphotic. It's not a good position. You actually can't even lift your arm over your head fully if you're in this position. And with that is the second problem, the rounded shoulders that come with that. And again, you're begging for shoulder pains if you don't fix this. As a compensation for this posture here, if you want to look straight ahead, because it's going to bring everything down. If your body's going this way, your head's going to follow. As a compensation for that, we know we got to look straight ahead, so what do? We peek up. That's called nerd neck right there. And Jesse appropriately developed it, because he's a nerd. Even because of all of his Star Wars infatuation, I call him that, but beyond that, we have other reasons. He needs to fix this, though, and so do you. And really, a little bit uncharacteristically, Jesse's got a hell of a case of anterior pelvic tilt, meaning he gets that swoop in the low back. And we actually fix that and address that in an entire video that you need to watch if you have that problem. And I'm going to show you what it looks like over here and link it for you at the end of this video. But here's what most of us have. Step aside, Jess. Because of all this roundedness, what happens in the spine, because it's one connected unit, is we get this posterior pelvic tilt, this tucking under, this ass knot is what we call. So basically we have four main issues that we have to do and address, and we're going to do that here one by one. Remember, the one thing, if you're short on time, that's going to be the most impactful for you. You string them all together, I promise you, you're going to start to see better results with your posture. Okay, let's first attack that rounded upper back, the thoracic kyphosis. Actually, a fun one to do, because all it takes is a broomstick. Jesse's got a metal bar here, but you lay face down on the floor like that. You put your arms nice and wide on the bar, and then Jesse's going to roll in this direction here. And what he does, he's actually trying to get extension through his thoracic spine here and rotation, because we like to pair rotation and extension together because the spine works that way. And we always have to respect the rotational plane whenever we do something, because that's how we operate. So he goes back in this direction. The bar is actually kind of blocking him by staying in contact with the floor, and he's just rolling it. Now he comes back out, and he's going to go back the other way. He plants down the right side with the bar, and he rolls back in that direction, opening up thoracic extension and rotation, hanging out at the end for just a couple seconds in each direction. Do maybe 5 or 6 of these in each direction, and move on to hit those rounded shoulders next. All right, guys, so now we have to go after those rounded shoulders. And the first thing you should know is that a lot of times the rounded shoulders are a consequence of that rounded thoracic spine, because once that starts, it's hard to fight gravity and everything else starts to get rounded around with it. But with that comes adaptive shortening because of the muscles in the chest, and we want to make sure that we're not just focused on that. Guys, I talked about it all the time. You better start learning to pull, pull, pull. And in this case, we want to do face pulls, and we want to do them often. So face pull is going to actually help to develop the muscles on the back side here to counteract all that adaptive shortening on the front. And you can see when Jesse does this now, he basically is working on external rotation as well. So as he gets back, he's trying to bring his thumbs back behind his body this way, at the same time working the posterior deltoids, at the same time working the rhomboids and the muscles here in the upper back, and he's holding it. It's not about getting here and trying to get out of here as fast as possible. It's about getting here and staying here and then reversing it. So you go here for quality reps. I'd rather see him go 10 sets of one quality rep at a time as opposed to doing one set of 10. At least the mentality when you approach this exercise. So the face pull, out, keep these arms as wide as you can, work on externally rotating them, trying to pull and push the thumbs back in this direction. and go one quality rep at a time. Okay, now we have to work on that nerd neck, okay? And in order to do that, you have to realize that because of everything else that's been going on, the chain reaction now usually causes a weakness in the deep neck flexors here in the front of your neck. So you don't just want to do these neck flexion resisted exercises with a plate. You want to also make sure that you're tucking your chin back so you can really activate the deep neck flexors. So what you do is you take a tennis ball like this, and Jesse's going to tuck it right here between his sternum and his chin. Okay, just like that to engage. It forces him to have to pull his neck back. He takes a 10-pound plate or a 5-pound plate wrapped in a t-shirt or a towel. He goes down just enough to be into slight extension, and he goes back up and flexes into neutral. But the whole time, he's engaging those deep neck flexors by keeping that tennis ball between his sternum and his chin, and then going through this really small movement here. Again, quality repetitions. When you talk about fixing posture, it is not about trying to rack up set after set after set. It's only about racking up quality rep, and quality rep, one at a time. That's what matters the most. Okay, lastly, we have to attack that pelvis, okay? And the pelvis is really the base of all the stuff that's going on here, because it literally is supporting all this bad shit that's happening up top. Now, for Jesse, we talked about how he's an anterior pelvic tilt, but for most of us, what happens when all this stuff is rounding forward is it gets tucked underneath. And why that is the hamstrings get short and tight, and they start pulling this down and under. As I said before, the ass knot posture, it's getting rid of your ass. You don't really have a good-looking ass in this position here because it's sinking under and disappearing. So if I grab the camera here, I could actually show you how we can fix this. If I get right here with Jesse now, I can tell him, hey, look, put your foot up on something that you can dorsiflex your foot, right? Point it towards your head. And then from there, make sure your knee's straight, because we want to try to stretch this hamstring out. In order to stretch the hamstring out, we have to get into that anterior pelvic tilt. Now for Jesse, that's easy. Go back into that posterior tilt. Most of us are going to start like that, right? That's what's getting us in trouble in the first place. But we try to really force our butt out as far as we can. And then from there, all we have to do if we maintain this anterior pelvic tilt is reach forward with our arms and just reach in this direction as much as possible. Over here, just like this, he's reaching out towards me. That's the direction, but keeping all that the way it was. And if you see the hamstring, he's not bending a lot at the waist. There's not a lot of forward bend here at the waist, but because he has himself an anterior tilt, that hamstring is really getting lengthened here, and that's what you want to do. You want to make sure, again, you do this on both sides, and you do it for about 45 seconds at a time, nice, high-quality stretching. If you do that, I promise you guys, you're going to feel this obviously right away, but if you work on all four of these things together, you fix the pelvis, you work on the mid-back, you work on those shoulders, the neck, hopefully, again, will work itself out, but as you increase the deep neck flexor strength as well, that's all going to help too. So there you have it, guys. There is your posture plan of attack. And remember, as I said, it didn't take this guy one day to get this way, and I'm sure it didn't take you that long either. So if you're going to make these changes, they can happen. You just have to be committed to making the changes. And if you're looking for more in-depth breakdowns of the individual conditions, from the rounded shoulders to the neck, to having the anterior pelvic tilt in Jesse's case, whatever it might be, we've made videos on all those, and I'll make sure I link them in the description below. But I'm telling you, a little bit goes a long way, and a little bit in high quality goes the longest way. So do these things I'm showing you here today, and I promise you, you're going to start to see results very, very quickly. Again, you can feel them instantly. You can start to see them adapt and become permanent over time. All right, now, if you're looking for a program that puts the science into everything we do, that's all in our AthleanX program. As a physical therapist, I lay it all out for you step by step in every single workout we do, and that's what Jesse's been doing as well. You can get that over at AthleanX.com. In the meantime, if you found the video helpful, leave your comments and thumbs up below. Let me know what else we want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that for you in the days and weeks ahead. See ya.